I continue to pull from this Wrestling with Freddie podcast because they keep putting out gold. This week on Freddie Prinze Jr.'s podcast, Wrestling with Freddie, Freddie Prinze sat down with Eddie fucking Kingston. Think about that sentence for a minute, too. Hollywood boy, Freddie Prinze Jr., right? Fucking Scooby-Doo, sitting down with Eddie fucking Newport, packing Newport's Kingston, right? But it was great. What a fucking conversation. These two hit it off, too. They seemed like they broed down, like, instantly. It was fun. Fun show to listen to. Check out this clip that I snipped out here of Eddie Kingston talking about his indie career, right? His rise to the top, because he took a long, hard road to get here. Check out this clip.
Yeah, my career before AEW was one step forward, four steps back. Because I would just shoot myself in the foot because of my temper and my other health, mental health issues where, you know what I mean? There was a period in time, I think in 2007, 2008, where, I was on a roll. I was at all these big indies like Ring of Honor, PWG. I was wrestling every weekend, 3 times, 4 times a week. And then I would just get in my own head saying, I don't deserve this. Next, I'm drinking and I'm sitting in the Tombs in New York in the drunk tank, missing flights. And then I would just come back again. Everyone would be like, oh, we're so happy you're back on track. And then I would go right off. Again, either someone pisses me off in the locker room and I'm screaming and yelling, or a promoter tells me to do something, or a promoter doesn't pay me right and I'm going to the cash box to take the money from them, you know what I mean? And then you get a bad reputation. And, also my body, I'm not going to lie, I was almost 300 pounds at one point because I just didn't work out. I was just fighting, you know what I mean? So my career is it's up and down, and I'm my own worst enemy. That's been my career. Even at AEW, there's moments, man. I tell people all the time, man, there's moments where old Eddie, 20-something, 30-something-year-old Eddie's whispering in my ear, like, nah, go ahead, man. Do your thing. Blow it all away.
Yeah, like I said, Eddie had a long, hard road to get to AEW. And so far, he hasn't blown AEW, but he mentioned that he's thought about it a few times, There's been a couple times he had to restrain himself from going off backstage. But I'm so glad that Eddie found a home in AEW because listen to this story, and it was so perfectly laid out with his feud with Jericho. When Jericho's like, I was main eventing by the time I was 23 in other countries and shit. And Eddie Kingston now just, breaking 40 is just now getting into mainstream, he's reaching the top level of professional wrestling. But his story's so great because of that. I love he came up the back road. He did it his own way. Not that Jericho didn't, but sometimes guys get those opportunities young, and Eddie's like a guy who he's a journeyman of journeymen. He's an old school guy in a modern era. He has worked his ass off on the indies for years. And a lot of it's his own fault, as he says in this clip that we just listened to, Eddie's always had an attitude problem. He's always had, anxiety, and he's always like a hothead, and he just kind of got a mouth that's hard to keep shut sometimes, and I love that and respect that because that's been me often, and like that was me in school. Always getting kicked out of classes and stuff for my mouth, popping off at teachers and shit. Jobs, getting in trouble at work and stuff sometimes because I speak my mind. I'm not afraid to not bite my tongue, I think it, I say it. And Eddie's that guy, and Eddie got himself into a lot of trouble by calling people out or getting into spats with promoters. He talks about not getting paid what he was promised and going for the fucking box, the money cash box at the door for the tickets. That's funny shit. That's funny shit. Always pay your fucking wrestlers, you indie douchebags, by the way. Listen, if you gotta take a loss, you are the last person to get paid, not the first, you fuck. Pay the wrestlers what you promised to pay them. Sidebar. Anyway. But I respect the fuck out of Eddie Kingston. I love that he took the back road to get up. I love that he is shining like the fucking diamond that he is right now. Because even though he is a pack of Newports, Eddie Kingston he's our pack of Newports, right? And he can talk. He has the most gifted tongue in professional wrestling as far as like cutting these promos that you just believe. And he says in this interview with Freddie too, like that his promos are all real. Like he draws from inspiration. He always finds a way, and when you listen to him, you can hear that because he always finds a way to tie it to his life growing up in the streets. He had that hard life growing up. He's been through some shit. He's seen some shit. He lived the street life, that culture. He didn't come from privilege. So to see that, to apply that into his promos, the way he's able to, the masterful work he did with Punk. Do you remember that? Do you remember how fucking masterful that in-ring standoff sold that match with Eddie Kingston? Like, I think it was on pay-per-view, wasn't it? Yeah, they had their match on pay-per-view. That shit was sold on Eddie Kingston's promo work, more than Punk's even. Eddie nailed it. And then Jericho, too, his match with Jericho on pay-per-view. Kingston can cut a promo and sell a match, sell a fight like no other. But I highly recommend, go out of your way. Again, like I've been saying that a lot on this podcast, like go out of your way, like go out of your way to fucking watch this clip, or to go out of your way to listen to this interview with Freddie Prinze Jr. and Eddie Kingston. Great shit. Freddie's, like I said, his podcast always delivers. Eddie always delivers. You can't go wrong with either one of them when you see them pop up in your podcast app. Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, and you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.